Growing up in the 50s and 60s, I had no shortage of heroes. World War II had just ended. Uh, Korea was coming to an end in my early childhood. My uncle was coming home from uh, that conflict over in Korea. The civil rights movement was just beginning. We had heroes like Thurgood Marshall, Rosa Parks, um, Dwight Eisenhower, and even um, in my early elementary school age, John F. Kennedy. Later on, Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X. And so when I saw this topic, who would you uh, have dinner with if it were possible? Um, if you could have dinner with anyone in history, who would you choose? I had a whole army of people to choose from. And so it required a little bit of thought for me to come up with an answer to the question. Ultimately, it landed on something that struck my heart and has struck my heart over the course of a lifetime. Anybody who has received any kind of communication from me in the last 25, 30 years knows that I sign my communications with the signature, "Keep the Faith." That byline, that slogan derived from a person who became a hero, personal hero of mine when I was in high school. It was by the name of Congressman, New York Congressman, the Reverend Dr. Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. I was not political in the 60s. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. I did not leave that religion until much later. But Powell was someone who struck a real chord with me during my high school years because he was charismatic, he was controversial, and he was caring. He was a person that you just automatically were drawn to, a tall, handsome mulatto man from New York City, well-spoken, of course, as a preacher and a preacher's son. He was articulate, and he was well-liked. He was, in fact, so well-liked that he was elected to represent his people for more than 2 decades. It was controversial, though. He was put up for investigation. He was stripped of his seat. He even broke with his party in the 50s to support the Republican candidate for president, Dwight D. Eisenhower. But most importantly, he was caring. He cared for his people. He cared for civil rights, and he spent his lifetime, his career as a champion of civil rights. And so I chose the Reverend Dr. Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. as the person that I would most like to have been able to sit down and had a meal with. Thank you.